Okay children, we are back now and I'm going to continue from where the last class stopped children. Okay, in the last class I had given to you what is the GDP, that is how we calculate the GDP children. We take all the three sectors. What are the products of all the three sectors? Whatever is earned in the primary sector, secondary sector and the third and the tertiary sector. When we do a total of it all, we get the GDP. Now this is not a simple calculation, and this calculation is done by the central government ministry. Now over the years when we have made an analysis, what we have noted is children that the maximum increase has been noted in the GDP of the tertiary sector. Beta, if we take into account 70% of the people are doing agriculture, but agriculture does not contribute 70% of the GDP. The maximum GDP percentage, that is 10 people who are working in tertiary sector are giving 40% of the GDP. So the percentage that is coming from the tertiary sector is very much more higher than from the primary or the secondary sector. If we look at the employment scenario, what we find in employment is primary and secondary sector. Primary where the employment is going down, secondary it is going up, but the major rise in employment is also in the tertiary sector. So if we look at all the three sectors, what we find is that the tertiary sector is the sector which is the most important. Tertiary sector becomes the most important sector. Now children, put the heading comparison between the three sectors. Comparison between the three sectors. Number 1, put graph 1. You will notice in your textbooks there are 3 graphs children. Graph 1, GDP of the tertiary sector GDP of the tertiary sector has increased the most, although production in all the sectors, has shown an increase. Number 2, in graph 2, if we compare the share of sectors in highlight GDP percentage, in GDP percentage. Tertiary sector, tertiary sector has made greater contribution while primary sector has reduced. Primary sector has reduced. Number 3. In graph 3, in respect to employment percentage, although the percentage of people employed in the primary sector is the highest, an increase in employment percentage is noted in secondary and tertiary sector, and primary sector has shown a decline. Now, take down the next question and put that very, very important. This is a question which invariably comes even for the board exam. Why is the tertiary sector gaining importance? Why is the tertiary sector gaining importance in India? Now, put number 1 and put the heading basic services. Put number 1 and put the heading basic services. Services such as hospitals, educational institutions, post and telegraph services,
but not up to his complete potential.
Post, krish, Please switch off your audio, Krish Bhatia.
Is apparently seen to be working, but in actual terms is not working to his full potential.
Post and telegraph services, police stations,
Apparently दिखता है वो काम कर रहे हैं, but
police stations, insurance companies, are now considered essential and government is making additional provisions to provide these services. Number 2, development. Primary and secondary sectors depend upon the development of certain services such as transport, trade, finance, storage, etc., which is provided by the tertiary sector. Third point, income level. As income level rises, people start demanding more services such as private hospitals, tourism, shopping malls, private schools, etc. Fourth point, information technology. This field has become an important and essential part of development. Next paragraph. The service sector on one hand, employs educated and skilled labor, on the other hand, there are a large number of people who provide services but are not able to earn a living such as shopkeepers, repair persons, transport people, etc. And now children, put the heading employment. Beta C.
Ma'am, this is the 5th point.
No. Employment is a new heading.
Okay, ma'am.
Employment is a totally new heading, children. Employment is a new heading. Now, children, you know there are two different types of employment. In fact, we are going to discuss about unemployment processes. Now, what is employment? When a person gets a job at the required rate. Now, if you are demanding 1 crore for your job and the job is only of 10,000. So, if you get a job at the required rate and you don't want to take it up, you cannot be called underemployed or unemployed. Employment means at the given rate, you should be able to secure a job. But there are different types of unemployment. Now, sometimes it is called underemployment. Children, your auto wala who comes or your van wala who comes, many a times he is a graduate. Now, does he require the qualifications of a graduate in order to be driving you to school, children? He doesn't require that much of educational qualifications. So, he is an underemployed person. He is underemployed because he is not employed to his potential. Another aspect is, sorry children, disguised unemployed. Disguised unemployed means it looks as if I am working, right? Every son, daughter, daughter-in-law, bachas included, all are working on the field and all are doing agriculture. But other services of the full family required. Do they all require to go and work on the field? No. A few of them, say 4 of them, go and work in the field of another person. They will earn more money, but they feel we are working in our own field, but economically they are not working because they are not adding to the production. They are called disguised unemployment. And children, this is a very, very big factor in India. Now, put first point, children. Put the first point, children. In the villages, workers in the agricultural sector are often unemployed although each one of them is doing some work but no one is fully employed. This is called underemployment. Next point, children. Underemployment is also called disguised unemployment. If we remove some people from the agricultural sector, production won't suffer. Many people prefer to work as disguised unemployed because they do not get better opportunities. Now children, in the next class, we'll deal with how to solve the unemployment problem and the different other types of unemployment.